The W, the O, the R, the K. The W, the O, the R, the K. Look yourself in the face. Look yourself in the mirror. Ask yourself, are you giving 120% every day? Every play? Give me 120 and don't give me nothing at all. The guy you competing against, you haven't outworked him. You've not outworked the person next to you. You've not out-hustled them. You've not out-grind them. You've not outdone them. You're not locked in. Bring all your passion. Bring heart. Every single game, every single play. Put forth 120% or don't ask nobody to do nothing to you. The W, the O, the R, the K. The W, the O. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, everybody? We are live. We are live. I'm just getting set up over here, guys. So just give me a second. Give me a second, and we're going to get moving over here. So we are live. So I had some internet problems this morning. I had some internet problems today. Weather is pretty rough, but we are live. So yo, what's going on, everybody on YouTube, X, TikTok? Tap that screen on your way in. Hit that like button. Hit that share button on your way in, y'all. Because we're up. We're at it. We're doing a thing. Appreciate everybody. TGIF, man. Weather is just going crazy out here. Scottish, man. What's going on? Yo, Scottish, I got wrecked in that river trade yesterday. See, traders get wrecked too, y'all. I put in a river trade yesterday. Actually, got wrecked. So, yo, we lose money too, y'all. But yo, it's TGIF. Good morning, Ken. Good morning, my man Scottish. What's going on over there? Over there on TikTok, you guys smash that like button on your way in. We are getting just a little bit of a late start today, just because some internet problems, man. This weather is just absolutely just tearing me up. It was tearing my internet up this morning. So, but we are at it today, man. So, yo, good morning to everybody. TGIF. I hope everybody's having a great day, a phenomenal day over there on X, over here on YouTube, over there on TikTok. We are absolutely up and doing our thing, man. Gonna get into the markets this morning. Got a lot going on in the cryptocurrency market today. Actually throughout the last couple days. So we are definitely going to get in and get after it today. And try to break this thing down and make some sense of what the heck's going on, because there's just a lot going on. So a lot of news, a lot of stuff, a lot of the bills that are going around, everything else, man. So we're going to try to make some sense out of it, man. Good morning to everybody in the chat over on TikTok as well. Tap that like screen on your way in, guys. Let's get them likes up, man. Let's get them likes up. And get moving over there on TikTok. Love you guys over there on over here on X and over here on YouTube as well. My man Selmo's in the building. What's going on, Selmo? TGIF, man. TGIF. How are you, man? How are you? But yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get into it on this Friday, man. Like I said, we're rolling just a little bit behind just because this weather was messing with my internet for a minute, man. Got some nasty weather up here. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get into it, get after it here. So what we got going on in these markets, baby? The Asian market, they traded okay last night. Not too bad, not terrible, right? We got the European markets over there where Ken's at dumping, Ken. What's up with the European markets over there dumping right now, guys? Man, they're all in red. Man, Ken, quit pulling the millions out of the market, baby. Come on, man. We're being so greedy. So, yeah, you guys tap that like screen on your way in on TikTok. Just keep tapping them likes, y'all, because, we got to get ourselves up and in the old algo today. But, yeah, so Yo, Ken, I don't know, man. Quit dumping the market. That's all I can tell you over there in Europe, man. They ain't happy with you right now. Got the pre-markets here in the United States looking absolutely great. We got the Dow looking in Dow's in green, S&P's in green, Nasdaq's in green, oil's in green. Let's check out and see where gold is right now. Let's see where gold is. Gold's down right now. Silver's down right now. Copper's down right now. Palladium's down right now. So the markets look good. Precious metals look like they want to trade down today. So we'll see what happens as the morning moves on. But the pre-markets over here in the United States looking pretty damn solid right now. But European markets not looking so great. So let's see how we trade moving forward, y'all. We got to get some tariff news updates too, because I think that's holding the markets back right now. I think that's holding the markets back just a little bit right now. But hopefully we'll get some of that tariff news coming out here pretty soon. Get that thing wrapped up. Whichever way we go, we just got to get it wrapped up, right? That's what we got. That's what we got to do. Whichever way it goes, let's just get it done, over, behind us. And that's the thing with a lot of these things, right? Is we got to get these things done and over and behind us, so that the markets can move on. Over there on TikTok, man, welcome everybody over there on TikTok. I hope you guys are doing great. I think the Ape Store is over there. Over there. Good morning to you guys on the Ape Store. Good morning. My man Hunsinger over there. On TikTok. I'm going to try to do a better job of getting to the TikTok comments. On Wednesday, you guys got the full screen. We will be doing. I'm going to be snowed in, I think, this weekend. So we'll be doing a lot of TikTok lives, I think, this weekend. So that's why I'm just going to go ahead and try to join the chat today over there on TikTok, because I believe this weekend when we're snowed in, we'll probably be doing quite a bit of lives as we're snowed in. So definitely like what I got going on over there. So tap that like screen on the way in, y'all. Tap. But yeah, this market, we got to get this stuff cleared up. Got to get a lot of this stuff cleared up. Either way it goes, we got to get this stuff cleared up and done. We going green, DG. DG to green. Yeah, okay. We going green, baby. Let's go. I'm all about it. We going green. Maybe the Greenland is where we're going, but we're going green over here in the United States. I don't know. We got a lot of funny stuff happening around here. We'll see. We'll get into a little bit of this Coinbase news here in a second, but when we get to crypto, got Nvidia sitting at 187 right now. That's okay. Not too bad, but that's okay. Nvidia is just kind of hanging out, just kind of trading sideways for a minute. But we got to see. We got to see where Nvidia goes. Where Nvidia goes is where AI goes, and that's the thing. So Nvidia runs everything AI. Everybody else is just coming second, third, and fourth, man. Hopefully U.S. will get Greenland because I don't know, man. It's I don't know, Ken. That whole Greenland situation. I don't know. I mean, if they get it, I hope they get it in a way that they don't have to go take it. I hope there's some common ground there, right? What we don't want to see is people out here taking things, but it's gonna work out how it's gonna work out, right? And the only thing we can do is sit back and try to capitalize on what's going on, right? Like you don't have a lot of say in what's happening, but we can capitalize. There is always money to be made off of every situation, and that's kind of where we gotta take it. We can get bogged down in the details, but gotta figure out. You gotta understand kind of where this thing is, man. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, if they do anything over there, it's mutual, right? Iran's heating up a little bit. That could have definitely have an impact on the markets over there in Iran. So definitely got to pay attention to that as well. And that thing could rock the markets pretty good. And we got to pay attention. And I think they're slow playing this thing right now. And I'll probably get flagged for talking about this, but it's all good. It's all good, y'all. No problem. Over there on TikTok, man, love the hearts. Let's get them things moving. Let's get them things up. Like I said, you guys, I'm gonna be snowed in this weekend, so we'll probably do a lot of TikTok lives in and out. So you guys get my face today, get my screen all weekend, and yo, so yeah, we'll definitely be over there. But Iran, you know what I mean? We gotta take we gotta take care of I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be a sticky situation over there, you know. And hopefully they slow play it and do the right thing, whatever the right thing is. I don't know what the right thing is, but whatever the right thing is, hopefully they do the right thing. And but it's going to definitely rock the markets if we go in there and start taking things and start bombing things. It's definitely going to rock the markets a little bit. So you got to pay attention to all these things that are going on around the world to understand how they move your assets, right? And good look, to the Iranian people that are out there protesting, best of luck and stand up for what you believe in is all I can say. And be safe, be safe. UAE might be going to might be going to war with Saudi. Yeah, it's crazy. There was reports out yesterday where the Saudi governments are kind of telling the United States too not to go into Iran, which is ironic given the fact that the United States has military bases over there and Kuwait and a bunch of other places to protect them from Iran. But yeah, they don't want us to go in there. It's just a messed up situation. Uh, so much stuff going on. Yeah, Ken, it's just so much stuff going on, man. So, but yeah, it's kind of crazy. You know what I mean? You got these bases over there to protect basically the Middle East from Iran, and then they're telling you not to go in there. So it's a little crazy. You got to scratch your head. Listen, there's a lot of news out here right now that's going to make us scratch our head and go, oh boy, what's going on right now? This is one right here too that'll make you scratch your head. We got Brian Armstrong coming out against the Clarity Act or whatever they're calling it today, not supporting the Clarity Act for a variety of reasons. And then we have other people like Ripple, Robinhood, Kraken, and a couple other people coming out supporting the Clarity Act, saying go ahead and pass it, right? It's gonna it's kind of funny how this thing works out, right? You got Brian Armstrong, out here going against it. Charles Hoskinson, I don't think he likes it either, from Cardano. But you have these other people that are very much centralized. What's up, Heinz Zenger Jr.? What you doing over there, Junior? You are now officially a mod, man. I figured out how to make you a mod up in there in TikTok. So if anybody's cutting up over there, man, just throw them out. Give them a boot, man. But and don't no links, none of that, man. Anybody talking about bots, man, get them up out of there. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how Brian Armstrong comes out against this, right? And I'm not saying that he's wrong, and I'm not saying that he's wrong. I'm not, because there's good and bad that's going to be in this bill. And but here's the thing. Here's my stance on it. Last bull run, it was pretty much all retail, and the best retail could do was about $3.9 trillion of market cap, right? So the whole bear market, the only thing I heard from the communities were, we need institutional investment, we need institutional investment, we need institutional investment, right? Well, if you thought that institutions were going to come in and play the game the way that we've been playing it in crypto, you were fooling yourself. There was no way that they were going to allow DeFi to run the way that it was running and invest trillions of dollars into DeFi. That just wasn't going to happen. Let's be honest, guys. It was the wild, wild west. You had devs that were just out here doing crazy stuff. You had people rugging each other. You had just blockchains just absolutely getting devastated. Just look at Luna Classic. You had FTX just doing what they did. You had all of this stuff going on, and you thought institutional investors were going to come in here and invest trillions of dollars into a system that was running like that. Well, I said it during the bear market, be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. And I said that the whole bear market, and I'm going to stand by it, and I'm going to keep saying it. Be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. Now institutions are here. You have ETFs, you have the banking system setting up on these on the blockchain guardrails. You have JP Morgan launching their own blockchain. You got Swift launching their own blockchain. So institutional investment is here, whether we like it or whether we don't like it. They're here in the United States, right? And they're not going to play by our rules. And Brian Armstrong is absolutely right. You know what he's saying. DeFi will change. If you're DeFi and you live in the United States, get ready to KYC. There's no way that these guys are going to spend trillions and trillions of dollars out here on these blockchains and not have you KYC. It's going to happen. You may not like it. But it's going to happen, right? And for Ripple, XRP in general, you have to ask yourself a question, right? Why are they backing this bill? If they're DeFi, why are they backing this bill, right? Because this bill basically centralizes everything in the United States, right? It brings it all central. It brings it all centralized, and basically DeFi is not DeFi anymore. But I will tell you this too, and we'll get into another article, and we can talk about this here because I said this a long time ago. I stand by it, and I I stand by it, and nobody has been able to prove me wrong yet to this point. And when they do, I'll change my opinion. But until then, I'm not going to change my opinion right here. Democrats slam the SEC over crypto pay to play concerns, right? Listen, you knew that this was coming. I knew that this was coming. Anybody with a common sense brain knew that this was coming. That the people that were against crypto were going to use whatever they could in order to stall crypto, in order to stall blockchain development. They were going to use whatever they could, right? And when Trump launched the Trump and Melania token, that gave them all of the arguments that they could possibly need in order to say that crypto was bad. World Liberty Fi also gave them the opportunity to now look and say, look at how politicians can benefit off of this blockchain, right? So, for as much as we like to say that, Trump is moving crypto forward, which is debatable at this point, right? I think the things that he did leading up to his presidency actually hurt crypto more than it helped crypto. And we've got to understand that, right? The launch of the Trump token showed a bunch of vulnerability. It showed the vulnerability in the liquidity markets where they suck liquidity out of the market really fast because it was at such a below market cap. They were able to do that. It's shown the vulnerability of these chains, these blockchains, where liquidity could move from one chain to the other chain really fast and then leave, right? So yes, if you were smart, like, and I know me and Scottish probably played this right. If you were smart, you made money off the Trump token, but yet on the background of that, you got to say that set crypto back. That was a terrible move. That was an absolutely terrible move by the administration. Whoever gave them advice on that was absolutely wrong. crypto was already at a standstill when it came to votes. You had people that were in favor of it, people that were against it, people that would fight it to the end, like Elizabeth Warren and all them guys, and you just gave them ammo for their fight. And so now we are where we are with the Clarity Act, right? And now they're pulling out all of this stuff, and they have concrete examples of what could happen in DeFi, right? You got concrete examples. Now we're used to it, right? We're used to the rugs, we're used to the honeypots, we're used to projects going under, we're used to projects and devs giving out excuses about, oh my God, it's the market, and this is why this is the way that it is, and blah, 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 right? We're used to it. But to the average person sitting there, they look at that like that's a rug, and it's not okay. And good luck. Good luck now trying to convince these guys that DeFi is the way to go without regulation, without strict regulation. Good luck. Good luck. Brian Armstrong was sharing yeah, I know Brian Armstrong was sharing, and he was concerned. And Brian Armstrong's not wrong, Scottish. Like, he's not wrong, but yet at the same time, we have to understand that blockchain is in a new realm, right? It's growing up, it's maturing. It's institutions are starting to use it. We begged for institutions. So let's just start right there. The cryptocurrency industry begged for institutional investment, right? They begged for it. But what they were begging for and what they were hoping for was that institutions would come in here and pump their bags, right? What nobody was thinking about was what comes on the back end of that. And that's what you're looking at right now, is what comes on the back end of that. You want your bags pumped, you're going to play the game that we want to play as institutional investors, or we're just not going to play the game, right? And people were under the impression that institutions were just going to come in here and operate like they've always operated, like crypto was going to operate like it was always going to operate. And that's just not the case. That's just not what's going to happen. That's not how these guys invest their money. That's not how these guys look at the markets, right? That's not how this thing works. And I try to tell you guys this the whole bear market. I said, be careful what you wish for, because you're going to get it. And when you get it, you ain't going to like it. You'll like the price action at first, but you're not going to like what happens, what comes on the back, what comes after that, and that's kind of where we are. You're not going to like it. You're going to take it, but you ain't going to like it. Like Diddy said, take that, take that, take that, take that. And that's what these guys are going to do. This bill is going to pass. The Clarity Act is going to pass, with or without Brian Armstrong's support. It's going to pass. Because you got Robinhood, you have Kraken, you have Ripple, which I don't even understand why Ripple puts themselves out there as a DeFi protocol and supports this. This makes no sense. That makes no sense for them to do that. And they come out with this is better than nothing, blah blah blah. They're right too. This is better than nothing, but understand that when this happens, you're no longer going to be decentralized. You're going to have to KYC. You're going to have to KYC for everything in the United States, and they will shut it down. In the United States, people, oh, you can't shut down DeFi. You can't do. Yes, you can. You can shut it down in certain parts of the country, much like North Korea shuts it down, much like Japan wants to shut it down whenever it wants to shut it down, and China wants to shut it down whenever it wants to shut it down. It'll shut it down. So yes, you can. Yes, you can restrict people from getting on to places where they can trade DeFi. You can do that. It's proven fact. Yeah, you can do that. That'll be the first argument that people say, oh, you can't shut down DeFi. Well, yeah, you can, because countries do it all the time. So, you can. Why Brad Garlinghouse is supporting this for Ripple, I have no idea. Other than the fact that he wants to be centralized. If you want to be centralized, that's cool. Just come out and say, I support this. We're gonna have to be centralized. We're gonna have to be a centralized exchange. We're gonna have to be, everybody's gonna have to KYC, all of this stuff. Come out and say that, and then that way people can say, people can just get away from this whole DeFi perspective when it comes to XRP and Ripple, because your actions speak louder than your words, right? And then we'll get off of that. But the Clarity Act's gonna pass, in my opinion. It's gonna pass with or without Brian Armstrong. And is Brian Armstrong going to fight the fight? He's going to fight the fight because he always has. And Brian Armstrong usually fights for the people, and he'll fight the fight. But it would be nice. It would be nice if he had Brad Garlinghouse by his side, given the fact that he stood by Brad Garlinghouse during their SEC fight. It would be nice if Brad would have stood by his side instead of selling out to the banks. But it is what it is. You got to do what's best for your company. And, that's what happened. And Brad sold out. Call it what you want. People from the XRP family get mad at me, put nasty stuff in my chart, in my chat, do all that stuff. Brad Garlinghouse sold out. He sold out. CMC bets on some new leveraged spot positions. They left some leveraged Cardano, leveraged Chainlink, and leveraged Stellar. This is big news for these projects, guys, because CMC is going to now allow leverage trading on them, man. We like it. We like that. We like that. That's more volume on the chart. That's good stuff. We like that. Pump Fund, they're doing what they do. They're revamping their website. They're in the middle of this court case, man. They're trying to do so. They revamping creator rewards, all that stuff. So basically, that's basically the big news is that we're just kind of waiting on the tariff news, and we're waiting on this bill. We're waiting on this bill that will pass. We're just playing games. But I want to see who else sells out DeFi as we move along. We got one on the books. That's Brad Garlinghouse. Who else gonna sell out DeFi? Who else gonna be a sellout? So the other big news right here too is Swift, their blockchain, completes multi-bank tokenized bond settlement trial using stablecoins and ISO 2022. What does this mean for XRP and XLM? So basically what Swift has done over here on their blockchain is they used their messaging system, combined it with stable coins, and threw it across their blockchain to settle bond payments. So for as quiet as everybody thought that Swift was, and they did this cross-chain, right? So they did this with a bunch of interoperability. So for as quiet as everybody thought that Swift was, right? What Swift has been quietly doing in the background on their blockchain is testing how to settle bonds transfers and how people can buy sell bonds across chain using stable coins and their messaging system, right? So what does this mean for XRP and XLM? Well, it means that now you have even more competition with Swift when it comes to the bonds and the real world tokenized assets piece of this, right? That's what that means. And Swift was just, I told you guys, I've been telling you guys this, man, for a long time. Watch out for Swift. They didn't create their blockchain just to sit there idle and do nothing. Obviously I haven't, if you read in detail on this, they probably use Chainlink in order to make these transactions go across chain, but we got to get some more research on this in their trial period and see what happens and see exactly what they used. But this Swift's not going to sit there and just allow everybody to pass them by. And this should be a warning shot to everybody that thinks that Swift is just going to sit there and chill, right? That Swift is just going to sit there and chill, because they're not. And this is proof that they're not. So, everybody thought they were going to get Swift's liquidity, and everybody was fighting for Swift's liquidity. Well, Swift just basically said, we're not giving up our liquidity like that. That's not what we're doing. So let's go ahead. Let's get into the market. Let's get into some price action on this TGIF. See where the hell we're at in this cryptocurrency market with all of this news. With all of this news, let's see where we're at. I would let you up to join the panel, my man, but I'm streaming on 3 different platforms, so it doesn't make sense for me to let you come up because you can only hear you on TikTok. But yo, keep smashing that like screen over there on TikTok or YouTube and X. Keep smashing that like screen. Get them likes up. You guys got to get them likes and shares up over there. Let's go. So let's get us up in the old algo. Right now, we got the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index sitting at 50 right now. We're still parked. The car's still parked in neutral. We're just kind of hanging out right here in neutral. But here's the big one. The altcoin season took a step back down to 25 out of 100, right? Down to 25 out of 100. We were a little bit higher than that on Wednesday when we streamed live. So altcoin season's taking a step back. We'll be able to see that in a little bit more detail in a minute. You got the market cap sitting at 3.22 trillion right now, roughly about that. Take a little step backwards as well, but not too bad. We got the ETF inflows and outflows at a positive $264.6 million right now, as of yesterday's trading, I should say. So, they put in a positive $264.6 million in positive inflows over there with Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. That's great news because this is their 3rd positive day in a row of inflows, which is good when you look at the inflow chart, because they were absolutely just purging money out of them ETFs not too long ago. So this is absolutely a good thing for the ETF inflows and outflows. So because they were purging money. They stalling by not signing, besides not signing the Clarity Act. I don't know if they're stalling. I mean, I don't think they're stalling. I think that they're just trying to get as many people on board as they possibly can, Selmo. I don't know if they're stalling. I mean, kind of stalling, but Brett, they're going to pass the thing no matter what. They're going to pass it because the banks want it. They're going to pass it. The banks came to the table and said, the big institutional money came to the table and said, we need guardrails for crypto. This is what we want. Put this in the bill. And if you want our money and you want us to use the blockchain as a current, as you guys want it to be used, you're going to have to do this. And that's what they did. And it'll pass. It'll pass. But they're going to have this debate about whether or not crypto is safe or not. They're going to have that debate. There's going to be a bunch of people that are going to stand up there and say that crypto's unsafe and blah blah blah. They're going to do what they do, right? And I'll tell you right now, DeFi is not doing itself any favors. They're giving these guys arguments. You just had the former mayor of New York City launch a token to rug everybody. That don't look good when you're trying to pass the Clarity Act. You had Trump launch Trump and Melania token. Doesn't look good when you're trying to get this through, right? It sucked the liquidity out of the crypto market. That doesn't look good. You had the Luna Classic situation. That doesn't look good. So you got to fight all of these battles with people who don't like crypto, right? You got to fight all of these battles in order for them not to over-regulate the space, right? And then you have people that are launching tokens every 15 seconds at an absolute massive scale. That don't look good for DeFi. That don't look good for DeFi. So DeFi is not doing itself any favors. So when people are arguing against DeFi and they're saying we want a KYC, we want all the devs to be KYC, we want everybody that's using DeFi to be KYC, we want all of these rails put in place in order to make crypto safe. We disagree with it because we're in DeFi. But when you take a step back and you look at it from a big perspective of somebody who hasn't been in crypto, this makes all the sense in the world. Because all they hear about is what DeFi is doing, right? And what DeFi is doing, and that makes all the sense in the world, right? But the people that should be fighting for DeFi probably aren't going to fight for DeFi because they know they're going to lose. They're going to lose against the banks. They're going to lose against that big money. But and Brad Garlinghouse Kraken. Well, I don't even want to say Kraken because Kraken's a centralized exchange, so you've got a KYC to be on there anyways. Robinhood's a centralized exchange. You got a KYC to be on there anyways. You got to do all that stuff anyways to trade on them platforms. But the reason that I'm on Brad so hard to this morning is because you run a decentralized protocol in the XRPL. You should be fighting for DeFi. But I think he knows he's going to lose that battle if he fights. And so he just sold out. When was the first when was the first super cycle in the market? Yeah, we haven't had a super cycle yet, Selmo. And ain't gonna have one this cycle either. We ain't gonna have one this cycle either. I don't mean to bust anybody's bubble, but you ain't gonna have one right now. We'll get into the charts. Bitcoin dominant sitting at 59.1%. That is absolutely going to the upside. Absolutely going to the upside, which is not good for your altcoins. And that's why you see the altcoin season percentage go down. You got Ethereum dominant sitting at 12.3%, and the rest, everybody else sitting at 28.6%. On the futures market, the longs and shorts, you got $676.8 billion out there to be liquidated right now. And we'll get into the liquidation charts here in just a second. But 676.8 billion, not terribly high. A lot of people got wrecked last night. I got done a River trade last night. I put in a River. I put in a trade on River. Oh my God! It's the first time I actually lost in a while. And I boy, it happened quick too. Scottish. I was talking to Scottish a little bit about it. Got happened quick. But look at the market on the daily; it's completely in the red. River's up 23%. So when I got wrecked, you can tell you know which way I went on it. I thought for sure it was coming down. So on the daily, the crypto bubbles are looking at red. Or on the hourly, it looks like we're putting in a green hour. It looks like things are starting to turn around. Dash absolutely went crazy. Has been going crazy over the past couple of days, up to $87.85 right now. So Dash has absolutely been going crazy. If you would have bought just to pull back on Dash, you would have 2 extra money already. So when people say that we're not in somewhat of an altcoin run, there's still money to be made in these altcoins. Still money to be made out here. And if you're not making this money out here on these altcoins, then you got to change what you're doing because there's money to be made out here. You got to change what you're doing. And I'm not saying that we have all the answers here, but what I can say is we're making money over here. And if you're not making money in this market, like you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Bitcoin's 95,400. Like everybody talks super cycle, everybody talks massive run. I'm gonna tell you right now, if Bitcoin can't hold on to 95,000 and it goes down to 94,000, that's going to be a big problem for Bitcoin. A huge problem for Bitcoin because there's a massive support line right there sitting at 94,000, right around 94.5. And if it can't hang on to 94.5, they're gonna have a problem because there's not a lot up underneath you, and there's some fair value gaps up underneath us that need to be filled. And if they go fill them, it's going to be a problem for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's got to hold on right here where it is. It's got to hold on. It's got to move to the upside, or there's going to be a massive downswing on that. Ethereum sitting at $3,317 right now. 3,311 now. Just come down. We got BNB sitting at 936, and XRP sitting at $2.06. Solana sitting at $143.71 right now. So the big boys are kind of up here doing their thing, right? You got Chili's absolutely went on a nasty run after their blockchain upgrade, sitting over here right around 5 cents. So we'll see if Chili's can hang on to its momentum and continue to move to the upside. Not quite sure that they can outpace the market, but we'll see. Polygon, big upgrade over there, sitting at 14 cents right now. We'll see if they can outpace the market. Listen, outpacing this cryptocurrency market is what it is. Bitcoin runs the market. You want to know how the market's going to go today? Just look at Bitcoin. Wherever Bitcoin goes, that's where the market's going. And it is what it is. And let's go ahead and look at some of these charts over here. So we're over here. We're looking at the total. We're looking at the total too. You guys know I like the total too. I like to include Ethereum in this chart because I believe Ethereum's an altcoin. People like to take it out. Look at the total 3. Doesn't matter. Either way, it's fine, right? But you see what's happening on this total too. That's that blue box up top right there is the box that we've been tracking since 2023. And look what's happened. This is the daily chart. You had a day here, boom, got banged down off of the bottom of this, bang down off of the bottom, bang down off of the bottom over here, retraced a little bit, traded sideways, tried to come back up here just a couple days ago, get back up inside of this box, and that box said, no, I don't think so. You don't got enough strength to get back up in here. And boom, got nailed down off of that. The next day, just kind of tried it again, just slightly tried it again, and got wrecked off of it again. Yesterday, yeah, you guys had a good run, but let me bang you off the top side of this box right here. And then today, it ain't even really close, right? Ain't really close. So this box right here, and the altcoins cannot be bullish until they get back up inside of this box. It's that simple. Until they can regain this inside of this tunnel right here that we've been tracking since 2023 that it lost, altcoins can't be bullish. They just can't be. They can get a little run here and there, but they can't be bullish, right? It's just not gonna happen. And this is the issue that I have when people talk about super cycles and all of this stuff right here. This trend line, the bottom of this trend line right here was support since 2023. It was support. It acted as support. Every time it came down, it bounced off the bottom and went back up, and bounced off the bottom and went back up ever since 2023, right? When it fell underneath that, you knew it was going to have a problem when it immediately didn't go back up inside, because which once was support now acts as resistance. And you can see it clear as day right there on the chart. That is resistance. And you are going to have to knock on that door so long in order to break through that resistance, because that support, so that it acted as support for so long that it has built up such of a strong support. Now it's acting as such of a strong resistance, and people just can't see that, right? They don't want to see it. Let me just say that. People talk about, well, you got to look at this metric or that. No, you can't get back up in the box. Same here with Bitcoin, right? Let's just look at Bitcoin. We can talk about lines and fancy indicators and all that stuff, but let's just keep it down to the basics. This box right here, this tunnel, was acted as support at the bottom side of this since 2023. We followed it since 2023. There's your bear flag sitting on a chart right there. At the bottom of this bear flag is your biggest support line, right? Sitting at about 84,800, call it. Call it 85,000 if you want to. Split hairs all you want. But you can see that it came out of this bear flag. It traded sideways right here, right? It moved to the upside off of this bear flag. So now you're out of this pattern right here, right? But don't forget about that pattern because there's a ton of support down there. But now you can't get back up. You can't be bullish until you get back up inside of this channel. This channel's about the bottom side of this channel is at about $100,000. At about 100K. So Bitcoin's having a problem right now where it is at 95, holding them levels, right? What do you think is going to happen when it gets back up to the bottom side of this channel that acted as support since 2023? You just seen it on the total too. Every time it tried to get up there, it got its head beat in and came down. What do you think is going to happen to Bitcoin when it gets to the bottom side of this channel? When it makes its way up to 100,000 and it runs into once was support since 2023, now acting as resistance for them at about 100,000. What do you think is going to happen? You think it's just going to blow right through that level? You think it's just going to blow right through there like it doesn't exist, like it didn't happen? That's not going to happen. It's going to run into the same problem that the total 2 is running into now. It's going to run into that same problem, which is why I'm saying to you guys, I don't believe that Bitcoin is going to set a new all-time high this cycle. I think we're going to eventually go down to about $75,000 and we're going to trade sideways there for a while. And that's going to be your bear market. That's going to be your bear market at about 75,000. Some people are saying 66. I'm saying about 75 to 73,000. We're going to chop sideways there for a little while just because of the amount of ETF volume, the amount of ETF volume that's going on, the amount of people that are trading and staking and the big institutional investments that are holding. I think right about there. And I believe MicroStrategy's break-even point is right around that $70,000 mark, somewhere up in there. I'm not 100% exact on that, but it's somewhere in that area. So I think that'll kind of hold it up there a little bit, right around 70,000. But I got it going 75, 73 and just chopping sideways. We're just going to chop sideways for a while. And that'll be your bear market. It'll be a couple months long. It'll probably be one of the shortest bear markets you were in. It'll probably be a couple months, and then we'll start to move back to the upside. And then that's when you can set a new all-time high. And that's when everybody's going to be like, oh my God, we're in a super cycle now because we didn't break down as far as 66,000. And if we do go to 66,000, it'll be 50,000. Or we got to get to 50,000 in order to be in an official bear market. No, you just have to lose structure. And you lost structure. I told you guys that you guys were losing structure at 110. And what happened? From 110 to where we are now. You lost structure at 110. You see the doji candle start to come in on this thing at 110. And anybody who don't know what a doji candle is, it's a candle right here. This is doji. Finishes right there in the middle, which means the buyers and the sellers are kind of just battling each other, and then they come to an agreement right there. That's all candles are, is buys and sells, right? They buy, they sell. They buy, they sell. That forms a candle. A doji candle, you sit in the middle, and that tells you that right there's kind of where the agreed price is. And at 110, you've seen 2 of them on the weekly chart. You've seen 2 of them. Boom, boom, boom. So at 110, the Bitcoin buyers and sellers were like, you know what? This right here is where the price needs to be. Now, that was a problem because you were either going to break that up or break that down that following week. That following week, after the 2 weeks of agreement, you broke down. And that's when I said to you guys, I said, this don't look good. You just broke structure. You're breaking down. You put 2 doji candles on the chart at the same time, which is which is unusual in the structure that we were in. You're starting to break structure. You better watch your bags. You better watch your bags. And that's when I started selling off some of my altcoins, some of my profits. And guess what? I've been right so far. I've been right so far. I still hold some Bitcoin. I still hold some altcoins. Still hold. Still hold. Excuse me. Man, I'll tell you what, man. This sickness that's going around is just absolutely crazy, man. But I still hold some altcoins. I still hold some Bitcoin. I still hold a lot of these, a lot of my positions that I initially had. But I started to sell off some profits. I started to take profits at right around 110. And I tried to tell you guys, take profits right around 110. If you didn't, you took a whole hell of a lot of haircuts, is what I can tell you. People say, well, hold, hodl. Well, let's look. You look at some of these altcoins. What are you holding? Ondo, we're big Ondo, sitting at 37 cents right now. The thing was up to like 47, 50 cents, right? You took a 10 cent per token haircut. For what? For what? If you would have took profits right around when Bitcoin started to dump right around 110, you would have been selling Ondo at about 75 cents. It's down to 37 cents right now. You took a haircut. Quit taking haircuts. Quit taking haircuts. AVAX, $13.80 right now. I think AVAX is going to be a winner in this run. Real world tokenized assets. The most money that's flowing into real world tokenized assets right now is flowing into AVAX, and it's flowing into Ethereum. And that's where the majority of the money, follow the money. That's where it's going. Solana, I think, is going to be the other big winner here in this run. I think Solana's not done running yet. With the implementation of their upgrade to bring them up to speed as fast as Visa, they've done some things over there. I think they're going to get away from them just being straight meme coin chain. I think Solana's going to be a big winner here. I think Solana's going to be a huge winner here. Pete, good morning, my brother. How are you? How are you? I'm not bald, sir. I'm not bald, sir. Hey, listen, I'm bald. I can't take too many haircuts. You know what I'm saying? I took a lot of haircuts. I can't take too many more. That's why I'm out here telling you guys, don't take haircuts, man. Don't take haircuts. You know, but Solana 143.57 right now. I'm bald. I'm waiting for somebody over there on TikTok to give me a cowboy hat. I'm bald with a mustache. But yeah, Solana. I think Solana's gonna be a winner here. I think they're getting away from just being solely meme coins. And I think you're gonna see them guys move. You're gonna see them guys move. I know I'm going on a rant this morning, guys, but it's Friday, so I'm allowed to do that on Friday. I'm definitely allowed to do that on Friday. So we keep it 100 all the way till we don't keep it 100. You look at CC over here, Canton Network. I like this network as a new blockchain doing its thing over here, sitting at about 12.9. But again, look at this chart. Should have been buying Canton down here, right? Should have been buying Canton down here, right around 7 or 8 cents, right? So if you're going to get into Canton, you want to get into it when there's blue waves at the bottom, right? And you're in a buy zone, the blue waves at the bottom, and that's going to come. That's going to come right between 7 let's call it 9 cents, and right between 9 cents and 7 cents. And right now it's working its way down to 12. It's under 13 cents. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities that Canton goes back down and test at least the 10-cent level. And at 10 cent, you guys should be getting in. I mean, I can't tell you guys to get in, but if you're going to get in, it's a good time to get in. You look at Hydro Liquid, absolutely been beat the hell up. This token has been beat up, sitting at $24.95 right now. It's not going anywhere. This leverage blockchain is not going anywhere. I can tell you that right now. Ken says ran away. Thanks, brother. But this Hydro Liquid blockchain is not going anywhere. It's just going to continually gain strength. And it's beat down. It's not beat down far enough, but it's beat down. Keep your eye on this, because if the cryptocurrency market gets beat down, this might be a play you want to look at. This might be a play. It's a play I'm looking at. I got my eyes on this thing. Where is the liquidation levels at for Bitcoin today? They're high. People are funneling in, and they think they think that they're gonna. I can't. They think. Here's all I'm gonna say. The liquidation levels for Bitcoin right above us are $94,617 at $182.4 million right there, right? 50x, you got 13.73 million, and 100x, you're looking at 26.8 million. Keep these prices in mind. 24,600. Right next to that, you're looking at $24,485, and you have 235.1 million in liquidation sitting there. 10.87 million sitting on 50x, and 25.4 million sitting on 100x. So keep this in mind. Listen to what I'm saying to you. 94,400 up to 94,400 are big, huge liquidation levels. What did I just tell you? If Bitcoin loses 94,500, it's a long way down from there. It could be a long way down from there, right? Where are these liquidation levels sitting at? About the same spot. What do we got above us, right? 97.5. 97.5. We're looking at a bunch of liquidations there. And then right next to that, we're looking at 97.7. So between 97.4 and 97.8 and 97.4, right? So the $4,000 mark right there, you're sitting right there as your liquidation levels, right? Around 97, 97.4 to 97.8, right? Where are we currently at? Where's Bitcoin currently at? Let's have a look. 94.4. So you tell me, are you closer to 97? You're sitting at 95,400 right now. Are you closer to 97? 97 and a half? Are you closer to 94 and a half? You tell me. Put your crypto brain on. Put your math brain on. Which one of them liquidation levels are you closer to? You do your own math. Tell me where the market makers can take it. Tell me what's easier for the market makers. What's easier? Especially going into a long weekend, what's easier? Swap. What's going on, brother? What's going on? Said URL. I don't know. You guys tell me. I'm telling you guys, we're going into a long holiday weekend, right? It's a long weekend, long holiday weekend. What usually happens to the markets on a long holiday weekend? For those of you guys that have been here for a long time, what happens? What happens on a long holiday weekend in the crypto market? Come on, tell me something. Put it in the chat. What happens to the cryptocurrency market usually, historically, on a long holiday weekend? Historically, what happens? Come on. Junior says, don't. Coffee and crypto. Yes, always coffee and crypto, baby. Ken says, pop. Do we pop or do we dump during a long holiday weekend? Oh, no. Ken says, poop. All right. I got you. Poop. Yeah, that's what usually happens. So you're going to liquidate the $94,000 level. That's what's going to happen. Rack it. Cut it. Rack it. Do whatever you want with it. DG said it. You're liquidating the 95.5 level today. Cut it, rack it. I stand on it. I stand 10 toes down on it. May not be today, but it'll be over the long weekend. I stand 10 toes down on it. That's the one thing with me is I don't run. When I tell you guys I believe something's gonna happen, it's because I believe it's gonna happen. And it's not based on fantasy. And this is why I'm telling you guys pay attention to what's going on. Quit taking haircuts. Stop taking haircuts with your money. This is your money. You work hard for this money. Quit taking haircuts. If you're in profit, take a profit. Quit taking haircuts. There's a token out there, low market cap token called iHodl. I had to laugh. People, I hope if you're invested in it, you may find this funny. If you're investing in it, you may not find this funny. But I'm not invested in it, so I find it real funny. There's a token out there called iHodl. Worst saying in crypto. Right there. Right there. iHodl has gotten more people wrecked than just saying to somebody, take your profits. Take your profits. And iHodl, if you look at their chart, I can't even believe people are still promoting this thing. If you look at their chart, it's absolutely terrible. So while you were hodling, they were dumping on you. I can't believe people are still promoting this thing. I go through TikTok, I watch it. People are promoting this. People are promoting that garbage. They got dumped on. That chart looks absolutely ridiculousness. And you're gonna say, damn, and you're gonna say, I hodl. There's only one way the chart looks like that. You got to have a lot of supply. And I'll guarantee you that the people that were buying that token didn't have enough supply to make that chart look like that. So while you're hodling, they're selling. So take your profits. You know what I mean? Keltro, good morning. So while you're hodling, they're selling. So take your profits. Don't be stupid, right? And don't let anybody talk you into round tripping your bags either. That's 2 bull runs ago stuff that we don't do no more. We don't do that no more. We're over that. We're more mature than that. We're maturing like the blockchain, right? So that's where we're at. So there's my Friday rant. So I'll leave you guys with this. Going into a long weekend, and you guys will listen to me rant just a little bit longer, and we'll be done. Going into a long weekend, we already talked about what usually happens. The market usually comes down. You got a bunch of Bitcoin liquidation sitting up underneath you, right? You got this Iran situation that's starting to heat up, right? We've got the situation over there with tariffs that we could get a judgment for any day now from the Supreme Court, right? The Iran situation could rock the markets, right? Understand that. You have the credit card situation right now that's going on where Trump wants to cap interest rates at 10% for a year. Believe it or not, that can hurt the markets. And what hurts the stock market hurts the crypto market, right? So that could hurt the markets. There's my hat. Thank you for my hat. There it is. But that could hurt the market, right? What long weekend? We got this weekend is Martin Luther King Day here in the United States. So a lot of stuff's gonna be closed on Monday. So, but more importantly, we got this Iran situation heating up, right? And make no doubt, I'll give you guys my take on that situation. People are dying over there for peacefully protesting, and it's unfortunate that that's what's going on. We don't wish that upon anybody, but I think what's happening is they have to build up a coalition to go in there and do something, right? And I'm hoping that the United States is building a coalition to go in there and do something, because you can't go in there by yourselves and just start changing regimes, right? And the United States is, for as good as we are, we're not into nation building, right? We shouldn't be into nation building, right? Without coalitions. And it's unfortunate, but the situation's got to play itself out for a little while in order for it to settle itself, right? The United States either going to go in or they're not, right? They're going to go in. They're just waiting for their warships and their submarines and everything else to get over there, right? So we're going to see what's got to happen with that, but that's going to rock the markets a little bit. And you got this Clarity Act right now where people are fighting back and forth on whether or not this thing's going to pass, right? It's going to pass. They're playing chess. They think that we're out here playing checkers, but we're playing chess too. Understand that it's going to pass. It's going to pass with the structure that it currently has, right? There might be a couple changes here and there to that bill, but it'll pass, right? You ain't going to like it, but it's going to pass. Nor do they even care whether you like it. They don't care whether you like it as a voter or not. They could really honestly care less, right? As long as the banks write off on it, they're good, right? And you got to understand that. You got to understand where you are at, where you're at in this game that these guys are playing, that they've been playing for a long time. And the banks have been robbing the hell out of you and me forever, right? And the gig for the banks is up, so they're going to have to do something to make it right, because they've been robbing us for a long time. And then we got this situation in Minneapolis going on, right? And this situation in Minneapolis here in the United States doesn't look good. It doesn't look good on either side. And it's going to have a negative impact on the markets, because it's going to have a negative impact in the news. And it's not good on either side, right? The ICE agents shouldn't be doing some of the things that they're doing. Let's just be clear about that. But yet the people need to understand that you can't interfere with an investigation. You can't interfere with a federal officer, right? You can't do it. And once we allow that stuff to happen, you've lost control of your country, right? And Minnesota needs to cooperate with the federal government. this whole thing started because ICE wanted to go in and scoop up 35 people who were in jail, who were in custody, and they wanted the Minneapolis jail system to hold them until they got there. And Minneapolis said, no, we're a sanctuary city. We're not going to hold them. We're going to let them go. So they let out 35 hardcore criminals back into the public that could have been detained by ICE if they just would have cooperated. And then this whole thing blew up to where it is right now, and somebody lost their life. It's unfortunate, right? But the ICE agents need to act better, and so don't the people in Minneapolis need to act better. You're not doing yourselves any favors by throwing bottles at federal officers, burning stuff down, tearing your own city up. You're not doing yourself any favors. You're not helping yourself. So I don't know. We got to come to some sort of resolution into where we're going to be at as a country, because where we are right now ain't going to work. It's not going to work. And we got to be better. And we got to be better as a country. Citizens got to be better as people. And we got to come to some sort of happy medium here, because what's going on out here in the United States just isn't going to work. Long term, it's not going to work. And I know this ain't about crypto. It's not about crypto. It's not about the markets. It's just about being good as a person, right? And neither side is going to win this battle that's going on here in the United States. Neither side is going to get a W here, and it's not going to end well. When you have Trump talking about pulling in the act where he's allowed to put military people on the ground, understand, and people need to understand this and understand this well. You're not dealing with somebody. When you deal with Trump, you're not dealing with somebody who throws out idle threats. If he says he's going to do it, usually he's going to do it. And that's not going to end well. That's not going to end well for the people. It's not going to end well for the military. It's not, as far as their PR standpoint. It's not going to end well for Minneapolis. But what I will say about Minneapolis is the governor of Minneapolis needs to probably resign. When you allow your people to take your city over like they did in Portland, you have lost control of your city and you're allowing for chaos. Regardless of whether you agree with what ICE is doing and you don't agree with what they're doing, your job as a governor of a state is to maintain order and maintain the safety of the people in your state. That is your job. And if you can't do that, or you decide that that's not on your agenda for the day, it is probably time for you to step aside. Regardless of what you believe, the Minnesota people, the governor, and the mayor of Minnesota probably need to go. And I don't know what we're going to do with all these sanctuary cities and things like that, but it's not going to end well for them either. Because you're not dealing with a president who is going to play games with you. When he says that he's going to do something, he's going to do it. And you don't like it, I don't particularly care for a lot of what he's doing. But what I can tell you is he doesn't play games either. So being out there, throwing bottles at federal officers, following them around in your car, blocking their access, getting in the back of FBI vehicles and taking papers is not going to end well for you, especially if they put in this Insurrection Act, which, if they do, it's not going to end well for the United States and from the PR perspective either. So I hope that they don't get there. I hope they don't do that. I hope that the governor of Minnesota, and I hope the governor and the mayor of Minneapolis wake up today and decide that they're going to take control of their city again, and decide that they're going to protect their people and protect the people that live in that city, put the police force back out there, maintain some order, and try to come up with a resolution for this ICE situation. Because if they don't, unfortunately, here in the United States, we're going to end up having military personnel on the ground in our own city, which is a shame. It's a shame. It's disheartening, actually. And like I said, this isn't about crypto. This is about something else. This is about being good as a person and being good as a human and doing what's right. And doing what's right. And making sure that, it, unfortunately, we're in this situation. This situation's tough because you're stuck in the middle, right? You're stuck in the middle of, we know that there's too many illegal immigrants. We know that there's too many illegal immigrants. We know that there's a lot of criminals here. We know that a lot of countries have just plopped criminals here in the United States and opened up their jails and sent them over here. That's beyond, we know that that's happened. We know that continues to happen. And what do you do about that? Right? So you're stuck between that and how do you handle it in a way that makes sense for everybody, right? The way that we're handling it now doesn't make sense. This is ridiculousness, right? But how do you handle it? How do you do it? President Obama did it. He deported a crap ton of people, right? Clinton did it. Bush did it. They deported a lot of people. Biden just kind of just was asleep at the wheel. Like, I don't know. We don't even need to talk about him. Somebody needed to wake him up. He's half of the reason we're in this situation, but wasn't good enough, right? So we got to come up with a way where we can protect the people here in the United States, not have it a free for all out here where everybody can just come over here and do whatever the hell they want. And we're just supposed to take it. This ain't P. Diddy, take that. If you come here from the United States, you should be here as a citizen, right? Period. End of discussion. There's no discussion about that. And if you don't come here the right way, you've broken the law. Period. There's no end of discussion about that. But you don't need to die for that. You don't need to die for that. And it shouldn't be the way that it is now. So that's my take on a situation for a Friday. So I'm in the middle. I'm stuck in the middle. And we need to do better. And when you're stuck in the middle, the only way you can do better is just be better as a person. You know what I mean? Make sure you go home to your family. Make sure you're taking care of the responsibilities that you have. Make sure you're taking care of the things that you need to take care of. Make sure you keep taking care of the people that depend on you, and make sure that you make it home. Right? That's the only thing you can do, because everything else is chaos. Right? So with that, you guys have a great long weekend. TikTok, I will be streaming live over there a little bit more this weekend because it looks like I'm gonna be snowed in. So you guys are gonna have me 100% over there this weekend, and probably even Monday. So with that, you guys have a great weekend. Watch the market, stay safe, be smart, and better yet, just be a good person. We're up out of here. We'll see you guys Monday on YouTube and X. We'll see you guys Monday. Bye.